let's get Nigeria's fiscal space to talk about that, which was greatly constrained in the year 2020. Let's get a sense of where we're finishing off the year with the former chairman of the Nigeria Economic Summit Group and the current chairman of Sunu Assurance, Kyari Bukar. Good evening, sir. Thank you very much for coming through. It's a holiday time. We appreciate your time coming on the show this evening. So let's get started. What is your overall assessment when you look at the Nigeria's fiscal response to the COVID-19 and the extant issues we have?
Remember that we had one of the deepest fall in our GDP in the second quarter, as well as the third quarter. Third and the fourth quarters, right? Second and third quarters. Now, the problem is that, of course, there is aggregate demand globally had gone down. And because of the lockdown of the pandemic, we would have needed a major fiscal stimulus for us to bounce back. Unfortunately, as far as the assessment for 2020 is concerned, I do not believe that we have responded quickly or adequately on the fiscal side of things. Monetary policy, a lot has happened, and people may decide to say whether those things have yielded the kind of outcome that we were looking for. But on the fiscal space, when you are confronted with a deep recession like we've had, what you need to do is one of three things. One, government spending, extreme, massive government spending. Two, personal income tax cuts. Three, business tax cuts. Now, all of those are supposed to be the catalysts or tools that the fiscal policy makers use in boosting aggregate demand, and therefore try as much as possible to bring the economy out of recession. The second thing is that because those measures are supposed to be temporary, government revenues would decline. But you know what your ultimate objective is. Your ultimate objective is to reduce the human hardship and economic dislocation that people get into when you have deep recession, especially when it is global in nature. So those have not been done quite adequately, I would say. There has been some measures done, such as the human, the intervention for the social welfare program that had been boosted, and those are actually good things coming from the fiscal side of things. However, a lot more we would have done a lot more. I also like particularly the investments in railways. The rail would basically be an investment in capital infrastructure, and at the same time, it's a catalyst for economic growth. So those are some of the few spots, and government ought to continue to do that going forward so that the 2021 should even be rosier when it comes to goosing the economy so that we can be on an economic growth path.
Thank you so much. The new AfCFTA is the biggest story on the African continent on the 1st of January, which is less than 24 hours from now. So what do you think? What is your outlook on what the very first step should be?
I think we will see some hiccups, being this, for the first time, the entire continent is going to be looking at free trade. We may have, just like what Nigeria had done initially, there might be some hiccups starting up. But this is a long-term play. This is a long-term game. And we in the African continent need to focus inwards. And if we were to be trading a lot more with our brothers and sisters across the continent and start to also invest in infrastructure such as railroads, and so that we are all interconnected and continually trade amongst each other, then it would give us a lot more benefit long term. However, the initial days would be faced with some hiccups, definitely.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your time. Kyari Bukar, former chairman of the Nigeria Economic Summit Group and the chairman of Sunu Assurance. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much.